Hi, and thank you for joining me in that episode of Chad Sports Talk. If you don't know, my name's Chad, and we'll take a dive in the world of sports. On this episode, we're going to go over the college football recap over the weekend, and there's some very exciting games. And kind of go over my my recap of my predictions of the last 9 games. And if you watch that, you realize I didn't do so hot. I ended up going 3-6 on my predictions. So when it comes to college football, it lets me know, let you all know that I probably don't know jack when it comes to this stuff, but there was definitely some interesting games. Some ones I've actually rooted for, even though I picked the opposite team. I actually rooted for one of them to win. So we'll kind of just go over these reviews, and we'll start off with probably the most obvious one you might tell, with the Irish. And congrats to Brian Kelly becoming the winningest coach in Notre Dame history with a 106th victory over Wisconsin and Chicago. And the score does not indicate the blowout. It was a lot closer than it actually was. Wisconsin's defense gave the Irish fits. Irish defense gave Wisconsin's offense fits. I mean, it was a good defensive battle. Wisconsin had to lead 13-10 into the fourth quarter. 96-yard kickoff return for a touchdown sparked the Irish, and then posting 31 points in the fourth, including 2 pick sixes, to seal the victory. So congrats to Kelly for his win, and he's better keep on his A game, because now he has to take on his former employer, Cincinnati, had a rank of 2 top 10 teams going at it. The next one was A&M in Arkansas, in Arlington, and I said that A&M's not Texas, that they would beat Arkansas. Arkansas proved me wrong. So my former boss from a few years back was extremely happy, because I noticed in the post that he was actually at the game. So he's definitely happy that the Hogs seems to be back, because they're now 4-0. They beat A&M 20-10. So Arkansas is right now look like they could challenge Alabama for the West. Their next hurdle will be next weekend with Georgia. And then we'll kind of roll into LSU Mississippi State. This one I thought Mississippi State had a chance to win. And they went back and forth, and LSU came out on top, 28-25. So hopefully LSU's got their boat headed in the right direction now, and not trying to go upstream, actually just going flow with the river. Then moving on to the Clemson-NC State game. This is the one I predicted that Clemson was going to be able to hang on to and win. I'm saying that the offense was going to keep NC State in the game, and it was going to be pretty much a defensive showdown. And I'm a little bit right on that one. Clemson's offense sucks. I mean, there's no softer way to put it. They don't have the same identity they had as they had in the past. So I don't know what Dad Buscemi's got to do to try and correct his offensive playbook. Defensively, they weren't that bad, but they did lose in double overtime, as NC State snapped their losing streak to top 10 teams. And they end up coming up on top 27-21. And if the catch at the end by Clemson would have made it, it just kind of went straight through his hands, it'd be a different talking point right now. UTSA Memphis. This one, I said it was a sneaky good one under the radar. And I wanted to jump on the UTSA bandwagon and continue riding that, but I didn't. I went with Memphis. Roadrunners proved me wrong and ended up winning on the game-winning field goal, 31-28, to remain undefeated. And yet, they're not ranked. They do have points, but they're way down there, probably because they're a Conference USA member, haven't beat anyone as of yet, even though Memphis is no pushover. They did go in Illinois and win, so they have that, marquee win. So we'll probably have to wait to see how UTSA UAB game goes, to see how the fair, if they're still remaining undefeated at that time frame, if either one will get ranked then. But hats off to the Roadrunners. They are moving in the right direction. And kind of a showcase to the American. Don't forget about us and your possible expansion talks. Now go over my upset specials I had last week, and I went 2-2 on those. So I'll start off with the West Virginia Oklahoma. I picked West Virginia to win because Oklahoma hasn't played anyone tough, and these two teams were battling it out to the bitter end. And West Virginia's defense was on point, but they were playing for a long time. And as I said, Rattler could prove me wrong, and he ended up doing. He led that game-winning drive to set up a game-winning field goal, and the Sooners escaped with a victory. And then Stanford, UCLA. I had Stanford beating the Bruins, but UCLA proved me wrong. They bounced back from their loss to Fresno State, upended Stanford 35-24. So that's off to the Bruins. Right now they're the best team in LA for college football-wise. And the two that I actually got right, I called the Georgia Tech and Oklahoma State victories. Like I said, UNC, I'm not buying them as of yet. They're not showing me that there could be contenders in the ACC. They're probably gonna be in the mix. Just on the fringe of getting to the in there, but I don't think they're gonna be. They're not consistent enough in my books. And Georgia Tech ended up winning that one quite handily, 45-22, and with two undefeated schools of Oklahoma State, Kansas State, someone had to lose. And I went with Oklahoma State because I haven't seen really anything from either one of these two. I just kind of picked one. And I want these guys to kind of like see a little bit of upsets, a little bit of the underdogs, kind of winning here so often. And Oklahoma State did that, knocking off KSU 31-20. So those were my picks. I ended up picking the Oklahoma State, Georgia Tech, and Notre Dame victories. That was it. So, like I said, 3-6 in my picks, so hopefully I do better this upcoming week. So we'll just do a video just picking the college football, and I'll put that one out on Friday. Continuing on with some of the other big-time matchups, Michigan slipped past Rutgers 20-13, and they actually forced Rutgers' first ever turnover this season to seal their victory. So, is Michigan bad, or is Rutgers that good? I mean, it's either or, but Michigan continues to roll forward. Same thing, Auburn. Auburn struggled against Georgia State. I know Georgia State decided to count, ate an extra bowl of Wheaties and put their best game forward, but Auburn ended up coming on top later on, 34-24. In Minnesota, the Golden Gophers could not answer the Bowling Green's defense very well. It was atrocious to see a Big Ten school like that get, kind of manhandled by Bowling Green. The score was a lot closer than what it really was, but it was just not a very good showing for the Golden Gophers, and then losing at home 14-10. Then we go to, right now, the two darlings of the ACC. And it's not the teams you think of. It's not Florida State. They're 0-4. It's not Clemson. They're 2-2. Boston College and Wake Forest are both 4-0 in ACC. Right now in the ACC. 4-0. Could this be a possible matchup in the title game? Who knows? I mean, it's just it is up there, and BC escaped against Mizzou in overtime, 41-34. And Wake Forest just demolished Virginia, 37-17. So these two programs right now are firing all cylinders. Maybe the bubble will burst sometime soon, but they're riding high right now. SMU made a statement against TCU and kind of told the Big 12, you forgot about us in your expansion, and they knocked off their arch rivals 42-34 to win the Iron Skillet. I mean, it was a good matchup between these two programs historically from the Old Southwest. So And they always play well against each other. That's what rivals do. But it's definitely one of those that SMU might have been overlooked because in that Dallas, because they're in Dallas, TCU's in Fort Worth, and you got to put two schools in the same metro area. But I don't know. Maybe SMU will be considering future expansions. You never know. Iowa was hosting Colorado State and pretty much struggled. It still won 24-14, but it wasn't an easy victory I think a lot of people expected. Same thing with Villanova at Penn State. It looks like Penn State wasn't putting forth 100% against the Wildcats of Villanova. They ended up winning as well, but it did kind of, not look that way. And then UAB made a case for the American to look at them for expansion consideration as well. And they went into New Orleans and beat Tulane 28-21. Well, that's my take, my review of this weekend's college action. Hopefully on Friday I do a little bit better, or this week I'll do a little bit better in my predictions in 3-6. That's kind of pathetic. And stay tuned tomorrow. I will do a NFL review of some of the historic games that happened. In case you don't know, there's a record-tying and a record-breaking event over the weekend for the NFL. And I'll get a new prediction video, like I said, back on Friday. So make sure you give me that thumbs up. Subscribe if you wish. Once you subscribe, you hit that bell, get notified next time I post a video. And I'll see you next time on Chat Sports Talk.